Happy New Year! Yeah, I know, it's not really New Year's right now. It's like February. But I'm a little bit behind in sending you a New Year's video, and I wanted to create this one and share something with you that normally, I guess I don't talk about, which is fitness. And recently we had Tony Horton, P90X dude. P90X, Tony Horton, he's like a celebrity to me. He came to our Producers Club meeting and he put on a workout, and then he talked to our members about fitness, about succeeding in life, about raising your game to the next level. It was awesome. So anyway, I wanted to share that video with you because I bet you in your New Year's resolution, you've got one that's to get in shape. Am I right? I mean, everybody wants to lose weight, get in shape, and so forth. So what I wanted to do is share with you Tony's presentation, his talk at our Producers Club meeting, and that'll follow this video as soon as I get done flapping my gums. So I want to share with you my 3 fitness goals for this year, 2014, okay? Number 1, I want to lose 35 pounds. Now, at a little event that's going to happen here in about 3 weeks,
I can't imagine.
Whoa. I'm going to lose 26 like that because I put on 26, but I want to lose 35. So I got to go beyond that. So that's goal number 1. Number 2, I want to be able to do 50 straight on chest to floor push-ups. I was able to do it before. I'm going to have to work back up to it, so I got to do 50 push-ups. And number 3 is I want to be able to run a 7-minute mile. Whew, I hate running. Hate it! Anyway, those are my 3 fitness goals for this year. I'm sharing them with you. There's accountability here, and I'm giving myself to the end of this year to get it done. And then I also want to share Tony's video with you, and maybe it'll inspire you the way it has inspired me and our Producers Club members. So thanks. Here's to making 2014 a very profitable, prosperous, but healthy new year.
The internet is a wonderful thing, you know what I mean? Are you gonna do the donkey kick up on the? No.
Probably just broke my mic, I think.
All right. Well, thank you. Let me just.
You look marvelous.
Thank you.
You look fantastic after that workout.
In about 5 weeks, I'll lose 30 pounds like that.
Boom.
That's the best weight loss.
That's my next program, actually.
Yeah. Oh, he does need the handheld.
See what I get? Here you go. I'll take it. Trying to be funny. I break the mic. How's everybody doing? Who came to my workout this morning? Awesome. Love each and every one of you. Who didn't make it? I don't like you people. Drop and give me 20. So, thank you. I want to talk a little bit about how to be awesome and how to make some money and how to be successful and how to be happy and how to live to 109 if you're interested in those things. But I also first want to talk about me a little bit. I know Robin got into my story a bit there. I love the microphone. I feel like I'm back doing comedy again. So I'm down by the corner and there's this girl and never mind. Flashback, I'm sorry. Oh, there's people in the room. Cool. So I was born in a van down by the river. Actually, I was born in the state of Rhode Island, our ocean state, and my father was in the military, so he was a tank commander, and we moved 6 times before 5th grade. So we started in Rhode Island, and we moved to Kentucky, then Kentucky to Hawaii, Hawaii to Connecticut, Connecticut to upstate New York, back to Connecticut, then Rhode Island, and then we finished in Connecticut. I think I added an extra town there. I don't know, maybe. But you know, I was a very, very insecure kid, and I had a speech impediment, and I was a terrible student because I had so many different teachers and so many different friends. And yeah, I was that kid that got shoved in the locker and got beat up, and the last kid picked for every team except for dodgeball. Weird. Anyway, I'll take him. Yeah, easy target. So it was a bit of a struggle for me when I was a wee boy, and my father was a tremendous athlete. He played football, basketball, baseball, and he was the captain of all 3. And his father really pushed him quite hard. And that's the way you did it back in the 50s and the 40s. And that mindset didn't change much. My coaches, I didn't make the football team. Actually, technically, they kept me on the football team because I made an awesome tackling dummy between Mondays and Thursdays. And then usually Friday nights, I was the guy with the helmet up going, yeah, nice play. That was awesome. And, even like in warm-ups, the only time I really got dirty was in warm-ups. I get down there and roll around in the mud so I look like I played. Because typically, they take a picture afterward and everybody's uniforms were filthy and there's this perfectly white uniform. That was mine. I don't even have to wash mine. This is perfect. Then I went off to college and I majored in chasing girls and drinking beer. That turned out really well. So, I don't want you to think that I was somebody who was involved in fitness and was a brilliant student. That wasn't the case. I was kind of getting through life. My father, after the military, was on the road Monday through Friday. So it was just my mom and my two sisters hanging out. And I had a couple of friends, but we weren't terribly athletic. We played stickball and some basketball and, the usual things, but we didn't exercise or train. That's something that the athletes did. That's something I was forced to do when I did play high school football, but it wasn't my nature. It's not who I was, and I really struggled in school. I think I'm going to blame it on moving all those times, because it couldn't have been me. There's no way. But also, too, I also struggled through college. I was also I never actually graduated from the University of Rhode Island, but I was very fortunate. The week of graduation, a dear friend of mine from high school called, and he said, "What are you doing for in the summer?" I said, "I think I'm going to commit suicide." Feels about right, because I couldn't have been more depressed and more sad and more concerned about my future, because I really didn't know where I was going to go and what I was going to do. And I was eating crap, I was just eating whatever. I was on a budget as a college student, and I ate garbage in the morning, I ate garbage at lunch, and I ate garbage at dinner because I didn't know better, because it was the 70s and that's just what we ate. There was no such thing as health food. They were health nuts. We still call them health nuts. Like the healthiest, happiest people are nuts. That's nuts as far as I'm concerned. And so when I moved out to California, the crazy thing was there were fitness facilities on every corner, and I had never seen that before, because I saw them at the high school and I saw them at the university, but I'd never been to an aerobics class before. I'd never walked into a public gym where the equipment was better than anything I'd ever seen back on the East Coast, and this was very intriguing to me, And so I did take a weightlifting class in college for a semester. That was my only A, I believe, because I was good at pushing iron. I liked the feeling of changing aesthetically. I didn't do it for any other reason other than I wanted pecs and arms so I could walk around campus with my shirt off, which was embarrassing in the winter. It was and cold. Who knew, right? But when I went to California, I became an actor. I know Robin touched upon that a little bit, or I attempted to be an actor, and so I finally got an agent, and that was a big deal, right? When you got an agent, and you did anything your agent told you, and he said, "Hey, you've got to get rid of that belly and get some arms." And so I went right into that gym, and I started taking aerobics classes, and I was doing some bodybuilding, and I'd go to the track, and I'd do some running, and it was really a phenomenal lifestyle, because if you live out in California, it's sunny 362 days out of the year. Right now, it's just going to be sunny forever, and the whole thing's going to just burn up and float away the way it's going right now. And we haven't seen rain in months, but that's just the nature of the environment in California, and I loved it, And so I was, we'll touch upon some of my jobs early on, but I was a handyman, and I was a carpenter, and I was a waiter, and I was a dishwasher, and I was a go-go dancer. Hello, bang! Hello, Beyonce got nothing on me, And it's what I did, A friend of mine came into town and said, "Does your father know you're dancing on a box in a club?" No, he has no idea about that. He thinks I'm a carpenter. And I was. I did everything I could to make a few bucks. And I was a trained mime. So I have to put this down. So I'd go down to the pier in Santa Monica. I'd be out of money. And this happened quite a bit in the first couple of years I was there. So I'd put on my, rock and roll. And so I'd put on my mime makeup. Oh, it's working again? It's going to cut out, but anyway, can you hear me all right? All right, I will not move. So I'd go down to the pier, and I'd get in my glass box, and I would do my thing, and I'd put that hat out, and if I made about 10 or 15 bucks, I'd go to the corner liquor store, and I'd pick up my Cheerios and yogurt, and I'd eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner until I ran out, and I'd go back down to the pier, and I'd do some more mime, and that's how I survived in between jobs that I didn't stick with very often, because who wants to wait tables for years on end, and who wants to work at the retail at the Oak Tree selling, $15 polyester pants? This was my life, but I was in California, so who cared? I'm in California, I'm in Huntington Beach, I'm at the beach, look at these women, look at these clubs. So we would go, to survive, we would go to the buffet, and we'd, get the beer, and there'd be hot dogs in a blanket and fried shrimp, and we just munch on those and stick a punch in our pocket and have that for breakfast and lunch the next day. And this was surviving early on. So, when I came to California, I didn't know anybody. I knew the friend that brought me out there, and he went off and got a real job, met a real girl, and I was kind of on my own. I was still trying to figure things out. But I was going to these gyms on a regular basis, and I was beginning to learn about health and wellness. But I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was doing it for the reason why most people still do it here in 2014. Most people exercise with the hope and dream that they're going to look different in the future. So it's all about aesthetics and ego. And if that worked, then everybody would be super fit, But most of us can't really survive on that lame reason for exercise. It shouldn't be about the scale and the mirror and the tape measure and those reasons. It shouldn't be about before and after pictures. What it should be is about improving the quality of your health today. And I didn't discover this until later into my fitness. So I was working out just to have muscles because I thought that was cool because I was a single male and I thought that would, get me to meet a nice gal. So one day I finally got a real job. I was working at 20th Century Fox and I was a runner. There I am with my shirt off. Look at that look on my face, like, I can't tell you how hard I'm flexing right now. Can't even smile or my boobs are gonna explode. Yeah, I was younger then. So I got this really neat job, and I was over at Fox, and I was watching movies being made, and I was feeding the cat, and I was, making coffee, and as the lights go dim, thank you. But at the same time, my boss would allow me to go and do auditions, and I had to get my job done, but still I was able to kind of live in both worlds. And as I became more and more fit and more involved with health and fitness, my boss came to me and said, you look really great. I've seen you change in the course of the last 6 months. You're more muscular, your belly is gone. Can you start training me? So this guy, Harlan Goodman, who used to be formerly in the music industry, was my first client. He was my first guy. And so I would train Harlan in the morning. We'd both go to work together, and he would try to make a movie, and he couldn't make it to save his life. He'd never made a movie the entire time. And so that job was tenuous. I knew I wasn't going to be there long because things weren't working well with that company, with that production company. But I was meeting more people. I was meeting people on the lot that would say, hey, Harlan's looking like he's in great shape. Can you get me in shape? And all of a sudden I had 3 or 4 clients. So now I'm auditioning for acting jobs and working on a lot, and I've got this little tiny mini training business on the side. And one day Harlan finally realized that he should go back to music, that he can't make a movie, so he's walking down the halls of East End Management, and in the other direction is Tom Petty. Oh, hey, Harlan, you look fantastic. Harlan's from Gainesville. Tom Petty. Oh, what are you doing? You look great. And Tom says, I'm working out with Tony Horton. Tony Horton, I want his number. So one day, Tom Petty calls me up. My roommate picks up the phone, says, hello. Hi, it's Tom Petty. I'm looking for Tony Horton. Click. He just goes, screw it. And I say, hey, well, who was that? Some guy saying it's probably Perpich downstairs screwing with us. He says it's Tom Petty. Oh, that guy's not funny. Ring. Hi, hello. My name's Tom Petty. I think somebody hung up on me. My roommate goes, I think it's Tom Petty, bro. Give me the phone. Hello? Hi, my name is... Who is this? My name is Tom Petty. I'm a friend of Harlan Goodman's. Hi, Tom Petty. Hello? I got a tour coming up. I got to get in shape. My wife and I are fat. Can you come to my house tomorrow? Yeah. Where do you live? Woodland Hills. So I pulled up the gates. Next gate. Right, and I pull up, and it's just, as we say in California, bitchin', man. It is the coolest, neatest, multi-level ranch, waterfalls. Boom, you go inside, gold record, guitars. Hi, I'm Tom Petty. This is my wife, Jane. I got a tour. Can you get me in shape? So I put Tom on the elliptical, but this is pre-elliptical, on the stationary bike. So I got the equipment. I got him bench. I got some dumbbells. I got just the basics in there, a couple of mats. And I put him on the stationary bike for a couple seconds. Grr. I had it on level 1. It went to 12. I had him on 1. Grr. So I just turned it off. This is hard. I go, we're screwed, man. So he did level 0, no tension, machine off for 1 minute and 36 seconds. And I went, all right. And then I gave him a couple of 10-pound dumbbells to do curls. Oh, those are heavy. I went, oh my God. 3 months later, he was doing level 6 for 25 minutes, and he was benching 40s. And it was a slow process. I mean, he went from to boom, 2 different lifestyles. So I was able to really help clean him up, cut his cigarettes in half. Couldn't cut them out altogether. But I got him eating healthy, and we started out slow. We did cardio on one day. We did weights on another. It was basically the beginning of Power 90. And he went off on tour, and he's wearing sleeveless shirts and doing these Springsteen-like freaking sets, and this band's like, holy crap, was this guy just slow down, And everybody noticed, So I had my small group. I had Harlan and a couple others, and I had Tom Petty. Tom Petty went off on tour. And after the end of the tour, my phone didn't stop ringing. Billy Idol, Stevie Nicks, Annie Lennox, Sean Connery, Shirley MacLaine, Ewan McGregor. All of a sudden, my morning started out with Billy Idol, Tom Petty, Annie Lennox, Stephen Stills, Sean Connery. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That was a cool life. I don't got to feed the cat anymore. I don't got to do this anymore on the stage. Bang! There it goes again. See that? I'm so good, I popped the mic right off my hip. So all of a sudden, I was a trainer. I didn't plan on being a trainer. I went out to be, a cross between Jim Carrey and Brad Pitt. All righty then, So it didn't quite go the way I wanted to, but because I had this acting training, because I was going to acting class, because I was going to auditions, because I was learning how to read a teleprompter, because I was pretty good doing voiceovers, while also doing this side business as a trainer, who knew that the two things would come together? You saw that lovely picture of me with the midriff look, That was my first job. It was with Nordic Track, and I would go back and forth to Minneapolis and do these little jobs, for their various silly products that didn't really do anything. But it was great. It was a great experience for me. And then at some point, we're only talking 13 years ago. I wasn't in debt anymore, which is great. I was still able to go on my ski trips, which was nice. I didn't have to have roommates anymore in my apartment. I was able to convert one of my bedrooms into a gym. And I would have, Shirley MacLaine come over to my 3-bedroom apartment in Santa Monica, which was kind of funny. If I only had time to tell that Madonna story. Oh, boy, that was... And that one time at Billy Idol's house, I don't have time for that story. But it was really, really cool because I was with the icons of rock and roll and the legends of Hollywood, and I was living a really cool lifestyle. And I had 2 broken down cars, which I thought was really cool because I had 2 cars, only because one would break and I'd have to have the other one to drive all over town. But, the day consisted of a couple clients at the house, Malibu, Venice, Culver City, back to Malibu. I was driving myself all over town to train these folks. And I was probably making, $60K a year, and I thought I was on top of the world. Then very fortunately for me, and I think this is an important part of the story, which might affect each and every one of you. At that stage in my life, I was reading every self-help book I could. From Don Miguel Ruiz to Tony Robbins to Deepak Chopra. I just wanted to better myself. Pop. And poor Austin back there is freaking out. But and I would go to the seminars as well, whether it be financial or whether it be as far as relationships. I just wanted to become more successful. I knew somewhere beyond 60 grand a year is kind of where I wanted to live, and I didn't know how to do it. So I just went to the experts. And did everything I do and see and read resonate with me? No. I mean, it felt like a lot of times that 80% of it was crap, but there'd always be a nugget or two where I'd come away and go, that's what I want. That's what I need, And so I was reading, I think Keith Ellis's book, The Magic Lamp. And if you don't have, there's anything I can leave you with, go buy Keith Ellis's book, The Magic Lamp. A lot of you are entrepreneurs and business owners and CEOs, but it really, really helps guide you. It helped me because I was caught between that. Am I an actor or am I a trainer? You know what I mean? And that really helped me focus on what it was that I needed to do and where I needed to go. So there were these little lessons in the book. And one of the lessons was, for no other reason other than it was a way to try to challenge yourself. Go out of your way and do something extraordinary for somebody you're in conflict with. That was the last thing. That was the lesson, to go out of your way and do something extraordinary for somebody you're in conflict with. Well, I don't want to do that. That sucks. I don't even want to do nice things for people I like. Why would I want to? Kidding. And so on this particular Saturday, I'm playing basketball. It was a lawyers' league, right? So these lawyers would get together, and there was me. So, we spent probably 50% of our time playing basketball and the other 50% arguing about the call, So I'm waiting. So there's one gentleman, his name is Ben Vandebunt. He just retired. He's 50. Ben is probably doing quite well. I don't know, I won't get into the amount of money that he's made, but he's been very successful. He was the former CEO of Guthrie Renker. Bill Guthrie and Greg Renker owned the #1 infomercial company in the world. And, we're making our way up the ladder. We're getting closer, but we're certainly not as big as Guthrie Renker. And Ben Vandebunt, intense gentleman, hardworking, very opinionated, didn't like me. I didn't like him. And so quite often on Saturdays, we would get into these arguments. On this particular day, we were on the same team, and we were both playing pretty well. We had just won the game, and he was complaining about his weight, about 35 pounds overweight. And he was talking to some of his pals, and I got to lose this weight, and I'm a trainer. So I thought to myself, go out of your way and do something extraordinary for somebody you're in conflict with. Well, I don't like that butthead, but I'll go and do the stupid thing. Hi, Ben, I don't know if you know I'm a trainer and I can probably help you lose. Okay, no. Yeah, that sounds great. What? Yeah, give me your number. Don't you train Billy Idol and Tom Petty? Well, he's paying attention. That was kind of cool. So I wrote my number down. I thought he would never call. He was just being, courteous because we won the game. And that afternoon, he called me up and said, hey, look, I'm serious. How can, do you have Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays open at 8? That's when I can come. And I just lost a client who used to train at Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 o'clock. I said, yeah. He says, you want to come here? I said, I got a gym at my house. Started training him. Turned out we had a lot in common. What a shock. It's not always the case, right? So, a year later, I want you to meet this guy, Carl Deichler. Carl Deichler's a sharp kid coming in from Philly. I think he's going to work for us. You guys have a lot in common. I want you to meet him. Carl Deichler is the CEO of a billion-dollar company called Beachbody. It didn't exist 14 years ago. Did not exist. Carl and I met, we hit it off, we'd go skiing together, we'd go, out at night, hanging out, having dinner, just talking about ideas. And so while he was with Guthrie Renker, he's doing awesome infomercials like at-home LASIK eye surgery. That was one, and, just open the eye, place the laser over, and I'm sure everything will turn out great. Like pantyhose that don't run, just stupid crap that he didn't really want to do because he was a fitness guy. And he said to me, let's see if I can get Ben to allow me to do a little side thing. We did something called Great Body Guaranteed. Now, keep in mind, 2 broken down cars, live in an apartment. I'm not in debt, but I was, $60K in debt for a long time, making my $60,000 a year. And we made this product. He paid me $2,000 out of the box, no royalties, nothing, just a flat fee. And it made money, and people noticed. And first we're running regional spots, then national spots, and some investors came in, and they wanted to build a company. And so Carl said to Ben, you know what? I'm going to go off on my own. So Bill and Greg and Ben rented them a closet, basically, down the hall. So it was Carl Deichler, Ben Vandebunt's roommate from college, who now is officially the president, who had nothing else to do. Hey, I'll give you this office and let you start your own business, but can you hire my old roommate from UCLA and make him your president and tell him to figure it out? Sure. Lucky John Congdon, man. Talk about the right place at the right time. And it turned out he was quite good at his job as well. So it was Carl and John and a secretary in a closet. And then we made Power 90. And people looked at us, what's Power 90? Power 90 is pre-P90X. It was 6 days worth of exercise. Anybody have Power 90? The first Power 90? Yeah, you have it on half-inch tape, don't you, right? Got it right there next to your VCR, covered in dust. Nope, no big deal. That's cool. And so Power 90 made money. Crazy. First year, nobody bought it. Why? Because everybody watching infomercials before saw some quick fix diet or some piece of equipment that was supposed to change their life in 10 minutes a day at 3 times a week. This was, oh, by the way, we're going to tell you to eat well, and you got to work out 6 days a week, alternating cardio and resistance. Almost the exact same program I created for Tom Petty when I first started training him, but I developed something that you could do in front of your television set without the bench press and all the equipment. So That first year, crickets. See, we told you so. All the experts in the industry said, you cannot get America to work that hard and eat that clean. They're lazy bastards. You got to trick them, and then after they finally figure out your product is crap, you got to bring in another one. And we decided, you know what? This worked for Tom Petty and Billy Idol and Bruce Springsteen and other people who really, certainly, truly care about their health and their wellness, and they understand the importance of it. And so, all of a sudden, people were beginning to submit their before and after pictures and their own personal video from their journey from Power 90. The footage and the before and afters were so compelling, we stopped using, the folks from our original test group, and we started using their footage and their before and after pictures, and we redid the infomercial for the second year. It went from flat to through the roof. It broke all records. It was huge. The company went from 3 employees to 50 to 150 to 200 to 250. We had to move from one facility to another because we were growing so fast and so furious. Our customer service was growing. We had to bring in, our own editors and everything else. And it just built the company. And so at that point, prior to that, I made sure that I got an attorney and I got a royalty rate because I wasn't going to just get a flat fee and then leave. And Carl was, he was so thankful that it had done so well. And a lot of it had to do with because I was silly and goofy, and my personality had a lot to do with the reason why people continued to do it and got those results. And so, I got my first royalty checks, and I, as an actor, you do a Lowenbrow commercial. Oh, it ran in San Francisco, San Diego, and Guam. Let's open that up. Oh, $18.50. I can buy some socks. And I'd open up these royalty checks and go, time to buy a house. It was crazy. So I went from a 3-bedroom apartment, in Santa Monica with an awesome view of a convalescent home. And if you got up on the roof, you could see palm trees at the beach. And then, then I started looking at houses, and I'd say, my realtor would go, you can afford a nicer house. You can afford a bigger house. You can afford a nicer house. Really? Seriously? Okay. And I remember seeing this house in Santa Monica, and it was, this modern Mediterranean, multiple levels, had this amazing, backyard, had a guest house, and you get up in the guest house, and you could see the San Gabriel Mountains that are now on fire, and the Hollywood sign. You could see UCLA. You could see Mount Baldy, which is the highest mountain in Los Angeles. It was this ridiculous, and you could see the Getty. You could see downtown. It was a dream come true. I lived in squalor for 21 and a half years. 21 and a half years in that same apartment. And now I walk into this house. What is it? Christmas, it's lottery, it's unbelievable. And so I just turned to the realtor, from the guy who was selling it. I said, it's sold. How much? Sold. You're supposed to negotiate. Screw it. This it's freaking gorgeous, and that seems about right. And so, ended up. Then 2007 came, and wasn't worth what I paid for it. But now it's gone up in value quite a bit, and I still live there today. And with Power 90 came P90X, and that tanked. And so my big, giant house had no furniture in it, and I wasn't going out, and I wasn't going skiing, and I was eating a lot of macaroni and cheese because I was freaking out. I'm going to have to give the place up. Like a lot of actors in Hollywood, I got a TV series, so I'm going to buy a Maserati and a big place, and then my series gets canceled, and now I'm down in Iran by the river again, and I was so fearful of that, but I kept my nose to the grindstone. I said to Carl, we got to create the next product. Let's get after it. And he agreed, and we put P90X out there, and nobody bought that either. And so we went, uh-oh, because we had a really hard program, and then we made a harder one. Because why didn't we help the obese? What were we thinking? That was the big debate. Should we help folks that are really struggling with their weight, or let's just take all our customers from Power 90 and see if they want to go extreme? And the same thing happened. First year, nothing. Second year, those before and afters came in, that footage came in, and it went. So then I bought a house in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And then I bought one in Rhode Island. So, it's really been a blast. And what I try to do is sorry, Austin. I try to walk the talk. There's a lot of fitness gurus out there, and you meet them in person, and you go, ooh, what? You look like, he's drunk, he's fat, he doesn't walk the talk. For me, it is so critical to do exactly what I say, because what I say works. You know, it is about exercising 5 to 7 days a week and eating right as often as you can. And if you do that, amazing things are going to happen to you. Above and beyond going to seminars and reading books and you know, getting graduate degrees. Really what matters here, and this is straight from the Harvard Business Review, is that when you exercise, and also if I don't know anybody to read John Rady's book Spark, the book Spark, buy that book. Because when you buy that book, you will not miss workouts and you will eat like a king and a queen. And here's the reason, the only reason why I am a success, I'm going to just give it this and it'll be fine. I'm not successful other than the fact that I walk the talk. And you know, when you move on a regular basis, I don't care if it's yoga or Pilates or bodybuilding or Zumba or naked ping pong tournaments, I don't care what you're into, but the goal here is to stimulate your brain, which changes your emotion about who you are and where you're going to go. So you can work your ass off, right? But if you're eating crap and not moving on a regular basis, this thing isn't working as well as it can. The lack of creativity and productivity and willingness to think outside of the box and explore and expand and have adventure in your life slowly shrinks. Raise your hand if you got parents or grandparents with health issues. That's almost all you. Put them up and keep them up. That's your shoulder workout for the day. So as I say this, I don't want you to put your arms down. I want you to keep them up. All right? You can switch arms if you get tired. So you're building these businesses and you're entrepreneurs and you're working really hard. Well, guess what? 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you're going to be them. So you can't build your business. You can't grow your business. You can't become an entrepreneur because you're sick. And when you're sick, your priorities change because now your job is to try to survive your sickness. Type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, you name it. You're going to get it. Your parents had sex, they made you, and you're going to have their problems times 2 until you start moving your ass and making better food choices. There's a healthcare crisis in this country, and guess what? It's the Democrats' fault. It's the president's fault. It's the Republicans' fault. It's the insurance company's fault. It's the healthcare. No! It's us. We started it. We can fix it. And it all comes on whether you have the self-discipline between these 2 hands and your food hole. Food, that's it. It's not like we're all getting shot and getting in car accidents and breaking arms, you know, and taking on our shoulders. That's for the orthopedic folks to fix. But for the rest of us, it's because we put junk in our mouth meal after meal after meal after meal. So you got your arms up in the air because your parents are sick. Well, guess what? You're going to be them, but worse. And even my microphone's mad. Oh, geez. I don't know. So raise your hand if you feel like you're in the best shape you can possibly be at your age right now today. Put your arm in the air. 1. Name is Robin, and she kicks ass. 2, because I know. 2. Who would like that? Who would like to just be fit, ready, strong, able to? Right. You want to know how to get there? You want the magic? First of all, my book's coming out February 4th. It's called The Big Picture. Go get it. So if there's anything here that you don't pick up or can't remember or doesn't, you know, you haven't got all the whatever you need, buy the book. HarperCollins will be very happy about that. So will I. But here's the basics. Oh, you suck. I'm going to go to that. Can you just turn me off back here? Yeah. So. Okay. This is for Austin, man, because he's just, oh my, you're making me look bad. So this formula is not for, you know, athletes necessarily. It's for moms that have businesses and for people who have time crunches. And it's for anybody and everybody who wants to feel great for a long time and avoid a lot of the problems that your parents and your ancestors are suffering from. And so, you know, my mother passed away at 75 of cancer. She was a smoker, probably didn't eat well, and she suffered from a lot of stress and anxiety and depression. And that's just gonna, you know, raise your cortisol levels and tear up your telomeres and turn your, you know, your organs into mush. And those cancer cells are just gonna go, yeah, yummy, yum, yum, chew it up, right? So you're trying to avoid that. So here are some of the simple tools in which to do it. And it's not easy. I can tell you right now, it's not easy. But you have to change your priorities. It really depends on how important that is to you. So number 1 is you gotta exercise with lots of variety. Like today, for today's workout, right? We did push-ups, we did mixed martial arts, we did ab work, we did leg stuff. Was it easy? No. Were there modifications? Yes. Did anybody die? No. So shut up and do it again and again and again and again. Add yoga, add Pilates, add weight training, add cardio, add something different every day. I have workout scheduled 7 days a week. Do I do all 7? No, but when I schedule 7, there's a great likelihood I'm gonna do 5. Oftentimes I do 6, and sometimes I work out 18 days in a row because everything's lined up. But sometimes it's 4, which I don't like. So, it's like everything else in our life. We do the basics to survive. We brush our teeth, we eat food, we go to sleep at night, we take care of business, we take care of our family. That's great. Surviving is great. But if that's all you're doing, then the end is going to suck. Guaranteed. Last 5 to 15 years of your life are going to be lousy, horrible, miserable, filled with disease, hospice care, other people taking care of you. So you can fix that. You're going to die of one of 3 things or some combination thereof. Environmental, so if you live next to Fukushima and Chernobyl, get out, all right? Next is genetics. Some of us just don't have, it's not spot on. We've got heart issues and lung and cell regrowth, and there's all kinds of things that are genetic. Third is behavioral. So there's one you can control, and the one that you can control staves off the other 2 quite well. Jack LaLanne's father died at 50. He lived to 96. His father died from poor habits, bad behavior, and also some genetic issues. Jack outlived his father by half a century because he worked out every day and he ate fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Boom. That was his mantra. That's what he did. He was a maniac to the end. This guy did push-ups for the entire length of a Johnny Carson episode. Johnny invited him, hey, this is Jack LaLanne. You all know him. He's America's fitness god. Jack's going to start doing push-ups, and he's going to do them for an hour and a half. Are you effing kidding me? On his 40th, 50th, 60th, 70th birthday, he shackled his hands and feet. He put people in rowboats. So on his 40th birthday, he put 40 people in 40 rowboats, shackled, swam across San Francisco Bay. Yeah, that happened. Also did it on his 70th birthday. And you can't do push-ups? Shut up. So the goal here is to add as much variety as possible because that's going to prevent boredom, injuries, and plateaus. The goal here is, I don't care how old you are, you can still get better, you can still get stronger, and if you add variety, you're going to prevent those injuries and the boredom and the plateaus that usually happens when you think that doing the elliptical 3 times a week is actually going to do something. Who owns an elliptical? Raise your hand. Get it, get some friends, drag it down to the curb, fill it with kerosene, burn that son of a bitch, and then go do something real. The elliptical is a rehab device for people who go from I'm nearly dead to I don't want to be dead. Now I can burn that piece of crap and go do jump knee tucks and donkey kicks. Because the idea here to get better is to figure out how to learn a skill. If you walk into a gym, it's filled with all these machines, these ridiculous machines where you're sitting on your ass and you're working an arm or you're working your chest. And it's great, but we're not football players or hockey players or basketball players who are trying to get bigger. Elliptical machine, it's the same thing over and over and over again. That, sure you can't figure out how to do that right out of the box. Sure you got to modify that, but that beats the living crap. Yeah, anyway, I'm with Sally on Thursday. We were at Starbucks for at least 2 hours. Starbucks, okay. But do you understand? Variety. It's everything. It's going to keep you in the game. It's going to change you more dramatically. It's going to prevent you from getting hurt. And it's going to add fun. Who wants those things? Boom. Number 2, consistency. The more you do, the better you get. Skip brushing your teeth for 3 days. That's nasty. You wouldn't do it. Skip a couple of meals. Not going to work for you. I'm not going to sleep tonight because I don't want to. All right, so these things, brushing your teeth, eating regularly, getting some sleep, this is what we do to survive. I want you to freaking thrive. Add fitness 5 to 7 days a week, and your brain release norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor. These are things that are already inside of your skull waiting for you to move your ass. When you move it all, those are released, creativity goes through the roof, productivity goes through the roof, and that happens from the top down. Automatic every time. I don't care what color you are, what religion you're into, how old, none of it matters. Everybody in here has a hippocampus. Everybody in here has a dentate gyrus. It's this big. It's teeny. Sits inside the temporal lobe of your brain. When you move, oxygen goes in. Oxygen goes into the blood. It's all about blood and breath. Blood and breath. It happened today. It happened to everybody in this room today. Who showed up to the workout? Better. Who didn't? Worse. You didn't get it. You didn't release those drugs. That didn't happen for you. Your cognition didn't improve. Your memory didn't improve. Your enthusiasm didn't improve. Your glass didn't go from half full to half empty to full. Full to the top, over the rim, okay? That's what happened to the people who exercise today. And guess what? You don't have to wait 60, 90 days from now to get that. You got it today. Boom. Today you got it. And who doesn't want that today? Who doesn't want to improve their memory, their cognition, their sex drive? Because blood goes everywhere. I'm just saying. I don't, blue pill, blue mill, baby. You don't need it. Movement in a variety of ways is the fountain of youth. You're looking for the fountain of youth? You got to move your ass and you got to eat right. It's that simple. And it's got to happen often. Thriving happens from 5 to 7 days a week for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Till your dying day, you gotta move. If you wanna feel better, if you wanna be more productive, more creative, have a greater sense of adventure, and build your businesses and kick some ass. I'm just saying. Who wants that? Anybody? Number 3, intensity. And this goes beyond the fitness thing. You have to always focus on pushing a little bit more, thinking outside of the box, asking more of yourself. When it comes to fitness, one more rep, deeper range of motion, focusing on your form. When you're first doing mixed martial arts, you got 100 pounds to lose, it's gonna look like this. Right? But not a week from now, not a month, not 2 months, eventually it's gotta be, boom, 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 boom. Right? Got to get better, and so that comes with anything and everything when it comes to your life. Intensity. Don't try to be a perfectionist. Don't try to shoot for the moon the first week. Be okay with sucking, with being bad, with being terrible, with taking breaks, giving yourself a time out. That's all right. It happened today in that room. There were folks in there that came in there petrified. Did you leave petrified? You left satisfied, right? And you got that today. That's why, when it comes to exercise, am I fired up every time? No, I'm up in the room last night. I've been traveling all day, 2 different time zones. I want to get some rest. But that damn gym is down there. It's a lobby floor. And I didn't work out today. So I had a little mind game, because typically I work out with other people. So I walked in, and it's not an ideal situation. They had treadmills. Walk on treadmill. Press buttons, move. I ran a 5K. I ran through 3.2 miles. I tried to do it under a half an hour, which is not rocket speed, but I broke the sweat. Blood and breath came together. I walked out of there. I walked in, son of a bitch. Walked out, it happens every time. Variety, consistency, intensity. Important. So now we're getting into the parts of this that will help sustain you, motivate, inspire. Next, purpose. And I've already kind of touched upon this. The scale, the tape measure, the dress size, the opinions from others about how great you look, it's all bullshit. It's smoke and mirrors. It doesn't sustain anyone unless, for example, you're a bikini model or a fitness model or a bodybuilder, or you're somebody who looks to other people to make you feel good. My purpose is I love feeling like this. Love it. I love being in a great mood. I love being happy all the time. And that's what exercise does, because I'm releasing norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, and brain-derived neurotropic factor. So what is BDNF? Proteins and molecules sitting inside of your brain, inside your dentate gyrus, waiting for you to move. And you only have to do it for about 20 minutes if it's intense enough. And you start to move, and these proteins and molecules start to vibrate inside of your brain, and they come together, and they create something called neurogenesis. So who here is older than 26? Who's younger? You still get to F off, man. So for the rest of us, if we don't want that part of our brain to die and rot and turn black so that we all end up with early onset curmudgeon disorder, then we move, because it's the only way we're going to generate new blood cells, not only inside of your brain, but your entire body. I mean, the same thing happens with your organs and your skin and everything else. You know, so that's my purpose. If I move today, sometimes it's yoga, sometimes it's plyometrics, sometimes it's chest and arms, sometimes it's, you know, a 5K on a treadmill. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as I've got that variety, then I'm going to release norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotropic factor, and I'm going to improve my cognition, my memory, my sense of adventure, my level of happiness and joy and productivity and creativity, and I'm going to be a better man, a better boyfriend, a better trainer, somebody who actually walks the walk and talks the talk. And all I have to do is suffer for 20 minutes or more on some level. You know, it really depends. The reason why most people don't exercise is because they don't like to be physically uncomfortable. They didn't like it in high school. They didn't like it in junior high school. They didn't like it when they were a little kid. And so I'm going to just use this and hope this is enough. Not enough. To activate this thing, you got to move everything else from the neck down for the rest of your life. That's my purpose. I want to feel good today. I want to be productive today. I want to be better today. I want to slow the aging clock down today. I'm going to move today. Because if I don't, I'm not going to get any of those things, and that aging clock's just going to spin, and I'm going to end up just like my parents or grandparents or worse. So upbeat, isn't it? So upbeat. Does that make sense? Purpose. Oh, if that doesn't get you off your ass, I don't know what will. Works for me. I hope it will work for you as well. Next is the plan. So, you know, you had to plan to come here, right? You got your flight, and you got to deal with the kids while you're away, and, you know, whatever it is. You have to plan everything in your life to be able to have a life, to be able to survive. But now you have to plan how to thrive as well. So it's 10 times easier, really. And what I like to do is, and this is so simple, it's crazy, is go a little old school. So 2014 is around the corner. I mean, it's just happened. So you can tell, yeah. So 2014 is now, here we are in February. I mean, here we are in January. So buy yourself a calendar, simple calendar, and put it in one of three places: the back of your front door, your bathroom mirror, or your refrigerator. And then you're going to write down exactly what you're going to do and what time you're going to do it. Now, does it matter morning, at night? I don't care what, at 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever you can do it doesn't matter. I mean, ideally, the morning is great. Gets the metabolism going, the brain is functioning on a higher level throughout the day. Night is great, but morning is great. If you do it at night, then you're going to sleep better, and you just have to work with your schedule, basically. So for me, my calendar, still 30 years in, Mondays, 5:30 plyometrics. Tuesdays, 7:45 shoulders and arms. Wednesday, cardio, typically 5K run. Thursday morning, 8 o'clock, chest and back. Friday, boxes and balls. It's a plyo box core routine. Saturday, yoga at 4. Sunday, 10 o'clock. Either I go to the UCLA track and run sprints, or I do my 3-hour gymnastics class. It's in, it's locked in, and guess what, by the way? I've got people that I do each and every one of those with. So accountability goes up because now I'm responsible to somebody else, they're responsible to me. So it's already there, it's locked in, it's who I am, just like everything else in my life. I prioritize. P90X was awesome. Millions of people did it, but millions of people didn't. The plan was there, we gave them a calendar, we showed them what to do on what day, but an hour was too long. I created a 10-minute trainer because a lot of people only have 10-minute trunks. So my cousin, who's got 5 kids, did 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes before dinner. Boom, she lost 35 pounds. So all her excuses, out the window, because she found her 20 minutes a day. Do they have to happen in a row? No, they have to happen, because is 10 minutes better than 0? Every time. All right, so start there, then it's Power 90, then it's P90X, then it's X2, X3, and then before you know it, you're doing mud runs and running half marathons. It becomes who you are. And that's happened over and over again. My good friend Jeremy Yost, I got 7 minutes left, 280 pounds, fused right ankle, you know Jeremy. Quiet guy, not much to say. Obese, huge. He'd be the biggest guy in the room right now. Works down in Kentucky as a manager for the Toyota plant. And, you know, his wife cut the lawn, and he couldn't play with his kids. And then finally one day his friend of his said, Jeremy, you know, and this friend of his just buried a 45-year-old relative, heart disease, heart attack. And he turned to Jeremy and he said, you know, you're not going to see your kids graduate. You know that, right? There's no shot. What are you talking about? You're 380. You're going to die. You're going to die. There's no shot. You can barely get up some stairs. You know, so some other guy is going to be your son's father, your wife's husband, and they're going to come and visit you in a hole in the ground. Going to happen. Guaranteed. I kind of exaggerate that story, but that's the gist of it. Went right out, bought P90X, couldn't do it, had to do this for literally 85% of it, right? We're doing pull-ups, he's doing this, we're doing jump knee tucks, we're doing this, we're doing abs, he's doing this. At the first round, toward the end of the first round, he was able to do some more of the exercises. 3 to 4 rounds later, he lost 180 pounds. He lost me, basically. The old time I was inside of Jeremy Yost. Ta-da, look at you, you look fantastic. So the man he is now, he's a completely different person. He has a completely different personality. He's outgoing, he's gregarious, he's an extrovert, he trains and teaches other people. People wouldn't talk to him now. Now they can't, you know, get enough of what he's learned, what he knows. And all he did was jump up around in front of his television for a bunch of months. So, you know, now he's a leader because he's lived a life that has said to others, you don't have to be here. You don't have to live this lifestyle anymore. You can be anything you want, and all you have to do is eat better and exercise more often. So that's what he did. Now, in the 5 minutes I have left, the last thing I want to talk about, which I touched on earlier, is the food. It's the food. Food will help you live a long, beautiful life. It's medicine. You know, it's basically medicine. Every single meal is your meds, or it's your poison. And quite often we eat some kind of combination thereof, right? We've got the saturated fried meat with some vegetables, so you got, you know, that contrast. Excuse me. And so we have to make a decision here. Raise your hand if in the last week you've had pancakes or waffles for breakfast. Don't lie, I can read your minds. Pancakes or waffles, stick your damn arms in the air. So keep them up. You had birthday cake for breakfast. You ate birthday cake for breakfast because it's white flour, butter, and syrup. What do you think cake is? It's white flour, butter, and sugar. So, you know, you're here to be better. You're here to think and to grow and to improve. If you're going to have bacon, which is saturated, fried, pig carcass, it was out there. I saw you gobbling it up. There is not a there's protein in it, barely. Other than that, it's a worthless food that is increasing your ability to age faster, die younger, get sick sooner. That's what it is. That's what pancakes and waffles are. Oh, but they taste so good, and they've been in my family. It's my mother's recipe. Shut up. If you want to end up like your parents or grandparents, friggin' eat the pancakes and waffles in the morning. Why can't you have oatmeal with berries? Doesn't taste good. Well, okay, bummer. There you are. There's your tombstone, bummer. How are your pancakes and your waffles and your bacon? Life is hard. It's hard. This stuff is hard. But it doesn't stay hard. It starts hard, but then it just then how you look and how you feel and what you can do and what you can produce and how you can create and how you sleep and how you have sex. Holy smokes, that beats the crap out of your damn waffles and pancakes. Do you want it or not? Do you want it or not? I'm 55, I'm living to 109, and when I'm 110, woo, going to Colorado, okay? By that time, the whole country would be filled with stoners anyway. I don't know. The whole legalizing that's the smartest thing we ever did, but hopefully we'll figure it out. So each and every meal, I'm 2 minutes and 19 seconds over, is an opportunity for you to grow younger, to feel better, to be more productive, and guess what? You don't have to get off your butt to do it right. Lunch is coming. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Look, and to finish, and I'm already over, don't try to, I used to be a vegan. I was miserable. I was thin, but I was miserable because I couldn't have any cool food anymore. So I ate too many crackers and chips and cookies that were, gluten-free and high in fiber, blah, blah. What a joke, right? So what did I just do there? Sorry, Mom. Sometimes I'm still that comic, right, that I was for a couple of years. But I try to stick to fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats, and I try to figure out what restaurants serve that make that not taste like wax. And my girlfriend and I are on the same page when it comes to what to cook in the house. And I'm not vegan anymore. I'm a plant-based guy who eats paleo meals, who eats vegan meals, who eats flexitarian meals, who eats Indian food and Greek food and Mexican food and Italian food and sushi. I eat it all. But I look down at my plate and I just hope and pray that my great-great-great-grandparents know what the hell it is. Because if it's a Red Bull and Doritos, they have no flipping idea. All right, so get away from the factory food and the pastas food and stop sticking your hands in boxes and bags for your nutrition and look down at your plate and hope to God you see foods that have one ingredient. Blueberries, 1. Kale, 1. Steak, 1. Chicken, 1. Red potatoes, 1. Simple. Pancakes, waffles, it's all the fibers taken out and all the junk is left in, and then more junk's put on top of it. It's not that hard to get up in the morning and have some egg whites with grilled peppers and onions and avocado on top. That's not a hard thing to do. If somebody put a gun to your head, you'd figure out how to do it and eat it often. And repeat it lunch, repeat it dinner. Look down at your plate and wonder if your great-great-great-grandparents know what you're eating. And get off the fat, sugar, salt, and chemicals because it is killing us. And if you want to improve your business and you want to grow and you want to be the entrepreneur you want to be, then you got to clean up your diet first and you got to move your butt 5 to 7 days a week for the rest of your life. I'm Tony Horton. Thank you very much. One last thing,
Go ahead.
I finished with the food thing. Tony Horton Kitchen is about 1.5 years old. And so if you're struggling with your diet and you got a few extra bucks to order some whole, fresh, organic meals 5 to 7 days a week, they come straight to your door. They're not frozen. They are fresh. They are triple sealed and they are cold. Heat them up, eat them up, throw away the recyclable container. It's that simple. Do you have to do it for a month? No. Do it for a week. I don't care. But just learn what it's like to eat healthy food meal after meal after meal. Go to TonyHortonKitchen.com. The reviews are there. The website's there. Give it a try. I've got brochures here. I'll leave them.
You can leave them here if you guys want to grab one.
There you go, boys and girls.
All right, very good. All right. Couple quick announcements, just so we know. First of all, we have a P90X3 kit. I bought an extra one, and we're wondering if you could sign it. And we're trying to figure out who we should give it to. Do you have any ideas, like a contest?
We could ask folks like a trivia question, a Tony Horton trivia question. Would that take too long?
I don't know.
What day was I born? Raise your hand.
No.
What? All right, like 8 people already know the answer. That sucks. How many fingers do I have up? 0. You're all wrong. Okay. I don't know. I'll let you decide.
All right, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Okay, so all right. So here's the thing. Everyone who worked out who has a T-shirt on, we're gonna come up here. We're gonna do a group photo. If you didn't work out and didn't get a T-shirt, there's still some over there. There's not enough for everybody, but you can, first come, first serve. There's some T-shirts over there. Now, after this group shot, we're gonna do photos with Tony. It's gonna be out this door. You can get your photo. Try to move quickly. We want to come back in here at 11 o'clock, and then we're gonna announce the Golden Cone winner, and we are going to go over my new campaigns that I've got for you as well. So I don't know. A question for you. What's the best part of being Tony Horton and the worst part? Now that you have fame, like, do people recognize you? And
Yeah, I mean, I get recognized all the time. On the plane, there was a P90X grad. In the airport, people will stop. You know, honestly, there is no worst part. I don't mind doing this. I love doing this. You know, people think, oh, wow, you're very friendly in person. What, am I supposed to be, an asshole? I don't understand. I mean, we were talking about some of the other guests that you've had before and what attitudes they have. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute.
Everyone knows who it was, too. Yeah, right, exactly. I see what I mean. Like,
God, God, God. I mean, that just blows my mind. It blows my mind. You know what? This whole fitness thing, it's part of the reason why I have a pretty good attitude. It really does change your brain. I mean, I look forward to getting on the phone. I get forward to doing these seminars. I look forward to answering questions. People are struggling. I have answers. I help them. They get better. You know, my purpose is to help give people their purpose. That's my purpose. And so, sure, I get run down sometimes. Sure, I get tired. You know, fame is lame. I mean, famous people who start acting like boneheads, they're awful human beings. They'll karma's a bitch. It'll come to them.
hey, and one other question. If you and Sean T got in a fight, who do you think would win?
Oh, he'd kick my ass, for sure. Yeah, he'd bitch slap me to death, that guy right there. So.
All right, good.